Good morning, this is Dr. Bhaskar working on few technologies for power generation. In this concept, I'll be explaining to you the cascading method of power generation. In this technology, we'll be using a canal flow designed in a parabola curve. The canal is made on top of a parabola curve, and on canal we are inserting at various points bulb turbines or tubular turbines. Okay, here is the method. First, what we have to do is we have to construct a right angle triangle. This right angle triangle will have a parabola. This parabola is a canal. This parabola is a canal. And here you are having a reservoir. The reservoir is connected to the canal. So the bottom side is completely filled with water. This part is completely filled with water. So water is completely filled. The depth is 1 meter in depth, 10 meters in width, and 2 kilometers in length. That is 2000 meters in length, 10 meters in width, 1 meter in depth. So the volume stored is 1 meter, that is depth, into 10 meters width into 2000 meters length is equal to 2000 into 10 into 1. That is 20,000 meter cube is the area we are having in the bottom side, where this particular water is constantly available throughout the year, 365 days, to the pump house. The pump house is made at the edge of this particular reservoir. This is a reservoir, bottom side reservoir. The reservoir is always full, and the evaporation percentage is 5 to 10% throughout the year. So there is no problem for this particular system. As and when the evaporation is there, the water is refilled. So the pumping sector, what the pump does, it pumps the water inside this particular sector. So this is the pump station. In this pump station, we will be using our technology, the pumps developed by our company, My Technology. So in this particular station, we will be using, each pump will pump 10 liters LPS, liters per second, to 30 meters head. So when we are pumping 10 liters per second to 30 meters head, totally we require a discharge of 6 lakh liters. 6 lakh liters per second is pumped from zero level, that is a suction, to the discharge. Discharge is 30 meters, suction is at the ground level. This is the ground level. From the ground level, the water is pumped 30 meters vertically up. 6 lakh liters per second is discharged. So here each pump, each pump is consuming 1.2 kilowatt of electricity. So to pump 6 lakh liters per second, we will be consuming 6 lakh divided by 10, that is 60,000. 60,000 pumps are required. Pumps are required into 1.2 kW per pump. That is 72 72,000 kilowatt. 72,000 kilowatt divided by 1000, 72 megawatts. 72 megawatts is the energy required for 60,000 pumps to pump in every second 6 lakh liters of water from the ground level, from the surface, from the suction to the discharge point, that is 30 meters to the stop directly. Here the water is coming inside this reservoir. The reservoir is having 10 seconds space. So here the reservoir discharge will be 6,000 meter cube. So in this way, 6,000 meter cube is the storage area of the reservoir. The valve is open and the water is made to flow down inside the canal. But before the canal is getting filled, here is the magic. In this particular canal, for every 100 meters, there is one section. 100 meters, there is one section. The section is having a description of the width of canal 10 meters, depth of canal 6 meters, the length of canal 100 meters. So here, if we are having 100 meter length, 6 meter depth and 10 meters width, this is one section, independent section on a parabola canal. So likewise, we will be having identical sections at 100 meters each on this canal. The canal is in the shape of a parabola. So on this canal we are having 20 independent sections. Here we are having 20 independent sections with equal engineering measurements. This equal engineering measurements in the sense, each section is 100 meter length, 6 meter in depth and 10 meters in wide. So here this particular section can hold 6,000 meter cube of water. The space is 6,000 meter cube of water. So 60 lakh liters of water is stored in each section. So in this way, the section 1 is getting filled because the water from the bottom side is constantly pumped to the top side and 6,000 meter cube is stored here. So as the valve is opened, then all this water will be flowing down by the law of gravity. The pump has stopped. There is no more pumping. So in this particular sector, the pump after 10 seconds, it has stopped completely. So the water from this particular sector is pumping no more water into this particular thing after 10 seconds. Okay. So now the stored energy, what is there inside this, is the amount of energy coming down and getting stored here in this parabola canal. So as soon as the water is getting filled in this particular sector, then a particular gate is there. This gate is open or the valve is open, the radial gate or whatever the gates we put on to stop the water in the canal. So in this way, you will be having a turbine generator. Okay. A turbine is placed in the path of flowing water inside the canal, submerged inside the canal. Okay. This is called the bulk turbine or the tubular turbine. So here the turbine capacity is 20 megawatts in installed capacity issue. The 20 megawatt turbine will get, this particular turbine 20 megawatts is rotated at 60 rpm only. The 60 RPM is having 24 pole, and 24 pole will rotate at 60 RPM. So here the head is 6 meters because the depth of the canal is 6 meters. The discharge is 600 meter cube per second. So the discharge is 600 meter cube, the head is 6 meters. In this way we are going to get 20 megawatts by this particular thing, because head into flow or discharge into gravity into efficiency is the power generation for that particular sector. So in this one particular sector, 600 meter cube per second is coming down, and 10 seconds the turbine will rotate. So as soon as the 10 seconds are completed, this one particular section is completely empty. Then again coming to this particular sector, again this particular sector is completely filled with water. So this particular sector also is identical to the above sector. So here also the depth is 6 meters, the length is 100 meters, the width is 10 meters. So here also 6000 meter cube volume is there. So in this way, the first compartment or the section having 6000 meter cube water is passing through the turbine or 20 megawatt and generate electricity, and the water is collected back inside the second section. The tail discharge is collected inside the second section. Thereby, the second section is also completely filled. Now what happens is, we will open the gate as we have opened the gate over here or the valve over here. Again a 20 megawatt generator turbine is fixed in the path of flowing water submerged inside the canal. This is also a bulk turbine or a tubular turbine. The capacity is 20 megawatts. So here too, the head is 6 meters and the volume is 600 meter cube per second. So here also identical volume is there. The water flow, water pressure, water velocity, water is completely available for 10 seconds to this particular 20 megawatt generator turbine, thereby generating 20 megawatt in this particular capacity. So as this second, the first one is making the second one fill, the second one is getting discharged into the third one. The third one is also having 6 meter depth. So likewise, the 6 meter depth is constantly available in each and every independent sector. So the head is independent for all these sectors, that is the depth of the canal is horizontally even, I might say that is linear. In this particular sector, the depth of the first sector is 6 meters, the depth of second sector is 6 meters, likewise third, fourth, fifth, sixth, the 20th sector is also 6 meters. And the length is 100 meters for each sector. So for 100 meters you have a gate, a collection point. The tail discharge of the first point is collected inside the second. When the second point is collected, the third one will start operating, because the water from second one will completely fill once again third one. Likewise, when we are stopping water and we are collecting the water, the head is made. Once the head is made and the tank is completely filled, then the valve is opened, so the water gushes out and you are having a particular generation. So each sector we are having 20 megawatts. So in this way, the 20 sectors will have 20 megawatts per each sector into 20 independent sectors. Thereby the installed capacity is 400 megawatts. So in this way, in the canal, we are having 400 megawatts, because every sector is opening up 600 meter cube per second. The 600 discharge is common, the 6 meter head is common. So when we are making the water flow from first, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, thereby 20th one, the 20th one will discharge the 20th one sector will discharge the water inside the bottom side reservoir. So the water is already filled to the complete sector, the bottom side is completely filled. So the discharge point here is making the water flow once again inside this particular thing. Here if 600 cubic meter water is coming down, in 10 seconds this will also get emptied. So by this way, if we are making only 10 seconds water to go up and stop it, then the water coming down and down and down and down and touching the ground point, that is the base, that is the zero level, and it is getting discharged into the reservoir, bottom side reservoir. Thereby what I want to say to you is, in this pumping sector we are pumping for 10 seconds and discharge point, how much we are going? 10 seconds, 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 10 seconds. Likewise, every sector is having 10 seconds of energy. So thereby 10 into 20, that is 200 seconds of energy is generated just because of the parabola canal. So this is a flow based mechanism. The flow based, the head is even inside the canal. In the fall, what happens is the water is pumped 30 meters and again it comes down 30 meters. There is no head in this particular thing. There is no head in fall. There is no head in the fall because the water is pumped to 30 meters and the water is turned down and made to hit the ground. So the distance from here to here is 30 meters. And once the discharge is made down and hitting the ground, the energy is completely exhausted and there is no head in the bottom side of this particular thing. So in this particular thing, what we have designed is, the head is continuously available at each sector because the depth is 6 meters and the discharge is 600 meter cube, because each sector will be storing 6,000 cubic meters per second. 10 seconds, 6,000 cubic meters is stored per second, 10 seconds, and 600 meter cube discharge is done every second. Thereby for 10 seconds automatically every sector is operating and energy is generated. So in this way the cascading system is more applicable to areas where we really require more energy. For example, this technology is called small grid, smart grid. Small grid, smart grid. Small grid is smart grid. Where you generate, there you distribute is the concept. In this concept we don't require high tension lines. In this this will require only a particular, a small area where you can generate maximum amount of energy. So when we are using this particular thing, so what I want to say to you in this particular thing is, suppose you are having an existing canal where the water is flowing constantly throughout the year. On certain canals you find constant movement of water fully flowing all 365 days. Okay, to that particular canal what we have to do is, we have to make an opening or a loop system, and you have to make a canal once again as what I have explained here in the parabola sector. So this water is made to flow inside this, and water is always available. The excess water is again made to flow from the top inside the canal. So thereby for every 2 kilometers you can generate 400 megawatts of energy. India is having, or the world is having, each country is having hundreds and thousands of kilometers of canals. We can use these canals for power generation, and where we are generating, there we are distributing, because the water is flowing through and through the canal all through the year end, and canals are made for irrigation, and when irrigation is there, the farm sector is there, the villages are there, people living in the villages can adopt this particular technology. If the government gives them a good opportunity of making this particular sector available for power generation of this cascading system application, thereby that village people will have their own electricity. In this way, you can get water from one place to another place constantly throughout the year. What is the volume of water going inside the river? For example, Ganga or Kaveri or Krishna or Godavari. For example, 100 TMC water is going out inside the ocean every year in the rainy season or in the off seasons. So we can bring back almost 50 TMC of water back inside to the earth, back inside to the living space, back inside to the cities, back inside to the villages, and make this earth pollution free. And we can use this particular water, because when we are developing this particular technology on the river side and in the canal side, thereby the 400 megawatt or 200 megawatt or whatever megawatts you want to generate can be generated effortlessly, because the space available is also very little. Here the depth is 1 meter, the width is 10 meters, and the length is 2 kilometers. Okay, so this is the place required to generate 400 megawatts of energy. So in this way, if we are in a position to generate 400 megawatts, so this particular system will help the country or any country to that matter, because people are one and people are always having the need for electricity. Where there is electricity, in the electricity itself there is a coining called electricity. Cities are made only by using the electrons. In villages there is no electricity because it is totally dark. They are living on their own. They don't have hi-fi living. In that way, suppose if we are in a position to generate electricity, then we can make the village or the towns or the areas where people live can lead a comfortable life, because electricity is available throughout the year at an affordable price, at a cheap price, at all times of the year. And in day and night this can generate electricity. And in the off-peak times, what we can do is, we can take this electricity for cleaning up the roads, and we can have street lights in the night, constant street lights throughout the country, throughout the highways, throughout the villages. The street lighting will improve quality of life, internet facility, rural internet services will be benefited, cell phone towers will have their own applications. They don't require to run on diesels or diesel generator sets or gas generator sets. Likewise, the cell phone towers or the transmission towers, spending as of today, India is consuming 4 billion liters of diesel every year to maintain their cell phone towers. By this application, all cell phone towers can leave diesel. And in this particular thing, I want to say one more thing. Suppose if we are having so much of energy, why use gas? Why use gas stoves? What is the net billing for government if the conversion of gas, I mean say to the payment what we are going to pay to the country from where we are getting the gas and crude oil, the foreign reserves what we are having can be stopped going outside the country. Thereby we can have electrical stoves for cooking, electrical induction stoves of very high capacities. Thereby using of gas is totally stopped, and when electricity is coming into the play, then we can have electrical bunks for charging of the vehicles. We can run electrical trams, electrical lorries, electrical transportation systems, everything we can do it. Suppose if we are having a highway, on this highway if we are having a lorry, a constant chain of lorries are going, the lorries can be moving with the traction as what we see in the trains. The lorries can also have a traction and take their goods from one place to another place on the highway with a separate section built on the highway, separate section only for the lorries. Thereby what happens is, the lorries, entire fleet of lorries can discard diesel, using diesel, thereby there will be no pollution. The lorries can be run on traction as we are seeing the traction of the electrical trains. The same thing is applicable for the electrical lorries. Thereby we have the designs, we have the concepts, we have created different concepts for different applications. So what I mean to say is, if there is lot of energy, lot of electricity, thereby the applications will be more, the people will have comforts. Internet university can be the modus operandi for teaching. Internet university, rural people can have any type of education, either graduation or post-graduation or PhD in commerce. We can make them feel better, because the internet universities designed by us will be very comfortably managed by anybody in this particular learning sector. So likewise, we have designed many things for the people of country or the people of the world, where education is also the most important part. So in this way, we are concluding that by making a parabola canal, besides the existing canal, wherever we are requiring a particular energy requirement, there the water is taken to this particular canal, side canal. In this canal, we are making a parabola sector and generating electricity. And as the water is flowing down, water is also flowing out. Thereby, this particular sector will be useful for every country. Thank you, and thank you so much for giving me such a good opportunity and listening to me. Thank you once again.